This is the Rotovac Ranger 1200 PSI extractor by Rotovac, and today I wanted to dwell on the few things that you need to know about the base tank before you get started using it. And so we're going to cover a few of those right now. And before I get started, I'm going to remove the top piece, which is called a CFX if you buy it by itself. And there's a video on this online already which will explain the top portion, so we're going to dwell on the bottom piece. This is the float switch inside the tank of the freshwater tank of the Ranger, and it activates the water on, water off, and it does that with the float. And the float is hooked onto this. The beaded chain is dropped through this, and pull it all the way up until you're just leaving a couple of links, and it will look like this in your tank. And as the water fills, it will lay like this, and as the water runs out, it will draw down, and you can hear it click. That will turn the water on again. So now you can see the float switch installed inside the freshwater tank, and the reason I showed it to you outside the tank is because when I put my hands in there you can't see me install that, so I just wanted to show you that on the outside so it would be simple for you to follow. Okay, so a lot of you guys already have ordered the CFX by itself. Works great with any Rotovac tool, and there's also already a video online how to use it. But when you order it by itself, it does not come with these clips on it, and the reason we don't put them on there is because when you're pulling it around the house, they stick out a little bit and they may scrape a corner on a wall. Oftentimes when you get the base tank, you're going to want to put these clips on, and so we send these to you, and here's how they look when they're installed. You'll remove these little black plastic caps that we protect the threads with, and then we'll put these on here. I can get my fingers to work. Just like this. So now that you got the clips on there, you can just pull that down and snap this in place like that on both sides, and it's ready to go. I wanted to cover where the solution hose goes on the front of the machine, and it hooks into the lower front end right here. It's a quick connect, and then you'll probably string it to the tool that you're going to use, and occasionally you'll turn everything on and you'll pull the trigger and there won't be any water. That's called an airlock. You have a bubble in your pump. Those need to be pulled out. You cannot push them out. So how we do that is we disconnect the solution hose from the tool that you've got it on. We have what we call a priming hose here. It's got an on and an off position, so you can turn it off once the pump is primed. And we use the vacuum of the CFX in addition to utilizing the pump, and we'll turn them both on. We're going to put our hand around this to create a vacuum. And then open this. And then we're going to slide it out. See if we got water, and you can see we have water. So we'll shut it off right there. That's how you get an air bubble out. That's called priming the pump. This is your pressure regulator. It's how you adjust the pressure up and down. All the way to the left is as far as it's going to, or all the way to the right is as far as it's going to go, and that's as much pressure as you're going to get. It'll be up around 1,000 psi, and then you can reduce it from there. If you're cleaning carpets with this, generally speaking, you're going to be in the between 150, 200, 250 max to clean carpets. That's all you need, because most guys who have a Ranger have a Rotovac, and you does not require high pressure to clean with a Rotovac. So I can turn it on here. You can see it's right there at 800. We can turn that up. And you pull the trigger to readjust the pressure. And then we're gonna lower it. And you can see it's dropping. And that's about 250. That's about perfect for doing your carpets. Now, let's say you were using it at 1,000 psi and you turned the pump off and you wanted to switch tools. If you disconnect the quick connect without releasing the pressure, you won't get it on another tool. So always after you turn the pump off, pull the trigger. It releases all the pressure, then it comes right off, and it'll go right back on. If you do not do that, you'll be calling us. So I wanted to show you the difference between the 1200 psi and the 250 psi. This one is a fill and empty machine, or fill and auto pump out machine. This one is an auto fill, auto pump out machine. So that's why it's got this quick connect here. This is what activates the float that we showed you earlier. And you'll see in your CFX video how to hook the faucet adapter up and get your solution hose coming to your Rotovac in the CFX video. But when you're using this, instead of hooking the solution hose to the 360i or your Rotovac power wand or your wand or whatever tool you're using, you're going to hook it right to here. So it's going to go from the faucet right to the back, and it will continuously keep your machine filled. Now, when you get towards the end of the job, let's say you got a small area left to do, disconnect this, because you still have 24 gallons to use in this, and you don't want 24 gallons of water in your tank when you're done with the job. It's much easier if you disconnect it when you got 100 feet left or so, clean that area. You won't have hardly any water in the back of the tank to remove. This is a manual fill hose. Oftentimes you find yourself in a situation where you don't have your faucet adapter hooked up and you need to fill up your tank. And so you can just go to the faucet, put this over it, turn the water on, fill it up, turn the water off, and you're done. Occasionally you'll find that you can utilize this where you don't have to hang on to it. And it's just a drawstring with a spring-loaded keeper on there. So you can do it either way. It's just there for your convenience. So the last thing I wanted to show you is we have a relief valve underneath the extractor. In case you ever turn the pump on and don't have your hoses hooked up, you've built pressure into the machine. Now you can't plug anything in. It won't allow it. So if that ever happens to you, we've got a relief valve underneath the machine down near the bottom, and we'll get a shot of that so you can see it. You can see it's in the off position now, and if you push it forward, you heard the pressure relieve. And then you just close it back up. Now you can hook your hoses up. If that ever happens, this is how you fix that. So just in closing, I wanted to make sure that you understood when you're going up and down stairs, anything difficult to get up and over, loading it in and out of your van, please take the top piece off. It'll make it much easier for you to haul carefully. And if you have any other questions, please give us a call at 888-ROTOVAC. Thank you.